Alright peeps, welcome back to one version. You catch us finishing off our fancy secret cave full of all sorts of beaver goodies. And I would say with that bit built, there certainly is a kind of magic back here. Look at it. You've got any campfire you could wish. You've got the eggplants growing there, ready to be torn into rations. You've got your grand level rooftop terrace. And your fancy decorations in the secret cave. And as glorious as our secret cave most certainly is, that is not what this episode's about. This episode is all about turning this initial first reservoir into a farm. And the way we're going to do that is by blowing the majority of this area absolutely sky high. Or maybe sky low would be more accurate, because this is all coming down. And all of this TNT is high priority beavers. I want you to get it in with, well, a high bloody priority. Oh peeps, look, a bit of lone TNT. That must only mean one thing, that we're gonna have some big kabooms knocking about. And look at that perfect little stairway there. Oh, look at these fancy little deals. We're definitely gonna have to get to checking those out at some point. But while our beavers are banging in TNT and warehousing, we should probably go ahead and say, you know what, why didn't I unpause this bit? Food factory, start getting some eggplant rations on their crack. And with 17 workplaces, I reckon it's about time we unpause a full 4 breeding pods. And those 4 bonus babbies should get all of these fancy Hoomans estates filled up in no time. Now, as you can already see, and we're still not even halfway through this mild bad tide here, this hill's already dried up. This bit of water's getting pushed down into this river, so this is probably not the best place to set up a farm, you would say. And I'd say on the surface you'd be right, but if we delve underground to where our levels match up here, which is right here, you can see that we have the bottom of the big old reservoir at the very same level is this bit of water right here. So I'm going to start our here where we got the big old cave, because I want to make this 3 wide so we don't have some ridiculous evaporation going on our big old reservoir. And that, peeps, is going to be our massive connecting canal, or culvert. Or since we're going to get a big plank back off each and every one of these tunnels, would it be classified as just a regular old subterranean river? Oh, and it turns out all of this can just be regular old TNT. Well, at least these bits can be. And I reckon since we most certainly need the second explosives factory on, let's get our beavers planking some gears into this wood workshop. And look at our beaver with the eggplant rations. Where you going with them, pal? Let's follow a sully here all the way through the fancy, sorry, it got a bit dodgy there, but all the way through the fancy bridges up the spiral staircase and straight into this farmer's bloody paddock here. Because this is what the bloody eggplant farmers are obviously going to be eating. Yeah, now for realsies, peeps, I reckon it might be a good idea to get this warehouse of maximum priority and storing some bloody eggplant rations. And I've also noticed that we can now store some goodies in here, so get some planks stored up. And since we blew up that TNT earlier, we can get this bad lad back on. Now I was going to replace this with a regular old bit of dirt, but then I remembered, this is the Cascade, and it will be getting a proper upgrade very shortly. And we don't want to actually flood the warehousing. And thanks to our Timberborn Biff Busting episode, we know that the water we're spilling goes straight through the warehouse without flooding it, or contaminating any beavers on top. And then this is where we can store our excess scrap metal and metal blocks. That's pretty perfect. We got planks and treated planks, scrap metal and metal. And guess who put the maximum priority as a workplace, not the bloody construction site. It's a good thing I was coming out here to make sure all of this is prioritised by haulers, otherwise I would have completely missed that and it just would never have got built. And peeps, a lot of you will be very happy when I turn the hood back on and you can see I'm actually assigning storage to things, like we're going to get some berries in there. You already know about with eggplant rations, that just needs to be bloody banged in. How about Beaver? Get a builder over here to bang this eggplant ration warehouse in, while I'm showing the peeps we're corn rations, we're double up eggplant rations, we're even going to have water on top of the berries. You know, because that's how the bubbies are made. And the beaver banger did get the bloody eggplant ration warehouse in. Look at this, we got the bridge in. Oh, love me a good bridge, like. It is fantabulous. Look at our mad contamination sensor doing its thing. And we even have some TNT ready to kaboom and get our final terrace house in. And guess who didn't calculate correctly? Of course the bloody entrance is blocked. It cannot be a nice smooth laddie now, can it? That would be too easy. So beavers, do us a flavour and get that blown up / picked up. And I've been thinking what to do with these bits of land here. Now, the obvious thing to do would be plonk some dynamite on there. However, if we think about it, we could get a brazier on that one. And then a bust. Oh, it's just too small. Or is it? Oh no, that is bloody perfect. You wake up from your snooze in your medical bed and you're greeted with the beaver bust staring into your soul. And before the beaver's gone to bed, let's kaboom these kabooms. And then realise that I placed the entire house backwards, and that was why the entrance was blocked. I mean, the entrance would have been blocked anyway, but that was genuinely why the entrance was blocked. So now when I place the house properly, it's like, look at how much of a genius I am. Everything is lined up perfectly. You know what, peeps? I reckon it might finally be time to delete the initial warehouses and bait and water here. We didn't even have the wee little plank guy here making planks to quickly and efficiently slurp everything and have the efficient storage. So we may as well allow the blueberries to flourish. Look at our bloody beavers. You know what? I'm going to do it in a first beaver perspective. And I'm going to start stalking the next beaver that comes by with a bloody fancy tail. Look at the tails. Oh, it's bloody fantastic. What a Brian. Brian the tree chomper there, just chomping away. Oh, that is fantastic. That's bloody beautiful right there. That's all I've got to say on that. For now, at least. Now, another thing we're going to do is shift our farmhouses up onto this layer so we can free up the direct green growing ground. Especially our here. And I reckon it'll be a great idea to get our 200 kohlrabi and, most importantly, one log back off there. Especially considering I can just save beavers. Emergency, get that large priority warehouse in because we do not have any kohlrabi storage anymore. Ooh, and this is happening a bit quicker than I anticipated, peeps. I'm going to have to unmark all of this for cutting. Yeah, I think pretty much all of it, to be honest with you. You know what, actually? Let me leave these trees marked for cutting and then the ones that I actually want cut. Apart from over here, because I want the lumberjack over here to still be bloody doing something, you know? But we very much need all of these trees cut down. Right here. Oh, how far along are these? Oh, halfway. Oh, you know what? We'll just come round to that but last and hope that they've been chopped down. And to assist with the chopping down, let's get some beavers. Maybe a beaver with a fancy tail. Oh, yay! Why are you the beaver that were chomping over there? We call you Brian the Chomper. But the reason we have to chop down, and not replant, most importantly, not replant these blooming trees that we're chomping down over here. I can't believe, well I can actually very easily believe that that I didn't bloody unmark them for planting. Right, now let's actually unmark them for planting. I came doing it the first person and Roger the Forester is not replanting that tree. Now that the stars are out, let's drop in on our beavers. Look, it's bloody Brian the Hauler. What's going on? I'll pay me bloody 1 cup of coffee when I can. But do we have any beavers down in the secret cave getting their tails painted? Or they're all just hanging out at the ground level rooftop terraces? Now I reckon the beavers are absolutely starving. Now the beavers are still bloody crafting. Oh, that's right. Yeah, nah. We should probably have some berries and water over here. And I was going to do something else with this area. But needs must. We need to make sure our haulers, or just general beavers at the end of the day, are nice and efficient. So we need berries in here as well as water in here at all times, beavers. So they're both prioritised by haulers and obtaining goods from other warehouses. But for now, it's time to you've naturally spread, so you're getting demolished. Well, I'm going to have to make sure we keep an eye on the beavers chomping here. Hey, already got 20 in. What are you doing? It's all marked for cutting you up. What happened? MiGly! What are you even doing here? Like, for real, though. Brian's been chomping at the bit to get chopped and doing some bloody oaks. Well, I may as well stay here and plump some TNTs down whenever the beavers are finished chomping the oaks. Make sure we don't get any natural spread, you know. Then I suppose we are genuinely just waiting for any more to be grown. Oh, and this is the perfect opportunity to see why we are widening this particular canal. The flooding and the fact that we might be getting some dodgy hole. They don't need to be too deep. But as I was saying, before I realised these dynamites were too powerful, we might be getting some mass evaporation just because of this bit of one wide here. Even though, you know, it's technically all connected in a big massive river / pool, but there is this wee channel here. Oh, my second wood workshop's up and running, so we can finally get our second explosive beaver up and running. Now, I'm not talking about another bloody splody beaver. I'd rather our splody beavers keep them nice and safe in a box there. Who's carrying the splody box? Of course, it's Brian. I can't believe I just noticed now. Yeah. Oh, bird water aqueduct. I can't believe I just now checked to make sure not even checked, but noticed that it was a bad tide. And that our bad water aqueduct was actually working. How bad's the pressure up here? Let's have ourselves a bit of a scoot up. It's not even at the top. It's not even pressurised. The entire thing is near pressurised. And don't get us wrong, when it's getting that change of tide surge as it will be. But I don't see a smidge of bad water anywhere. Like the water that was up here didn't have any bad water in it. We were down here looking at it, no bad water at all. There's no bad water knocking about in here. We just have a perfectly functional bad water aqueduct. Which is good because my plan was to cap this off. However, we've got precious protected thorns on either side. So I couldn't put a platform over the top and allow the water to still go through these throttling valves, but not overspill. And with cycle 34 amongst us, it's finally time to remember to mark those trees for cutting like I said I was going to do and be all clever. Oh, and since we've got the big owlberry warehouse, it's probably a good idea to automate this bad lad to our 1 berry counter. So it should, oh no, it won't unpause because it's manually paused, but it should unpause and get a beaver in there. I'm trying to think of what to do with this area. I reckon we're going to get rid of these deep water pumps here, get rid of this medium tank, and blow this whole place sky high. Or once again, down to the river level. Oh, look at that. We got water flowing this way. That's not a usual occurrence. It must have flown out and then it's rebounded and it's coming back. But you got to be careful because once this bad lad opens, that rebound's going to be countered with another rebound. And that is how we spill it all up here. And neither wonder you haven't got the bloody kohlrabi warehouse in beavers. I need a maximum priority like that. And then we'll get some maximum priority bloody platforms underneath. Oh, beavers. I saw this rubble here and I was like, yeah, we need to be doing something about that. Switching my brains on is what we needed to be doing about that. And there's that flooding from the rebound that I was on about. And now that our 1 district knows all about storage, I reckon it's time to get rid of this, quite frankly, a useless fermenter. 1 log. 1 log is what we got back off that, peeps. Because we should have ourselves a small tank right there, followed swiftly by a small warehouse. Once again, eggplant rations in water. That is purely for efficiency. So our grafters, when they're hungry and thirsty, they only have to go to here. They don't have to go all the way over here for some water, and then all the way over to most likely here for some bloody food. Oh, speaking of food, ye need to be switched to eggplant rations. I wonder if I can get in the barbed water aqueduct if I plonk nope. That'll be a nope. The answer to that is a nope. I'm too lanky to get in here, and if I plonk down on there, it just sounds nope. Oh! Well, there's how you yes your way into it. You just have a little bit of a hop while pressing W. Oh, look at the old build paths here. Oh, and you can see when the water gets up. Oh. Oh, I've never seen that before. There must be no texture modelling underneath from the brazier. All the impermeable floors. Because it's an impermeable floor and a brazier on there, but all you can see is the fire. But yeah, now we got the dams here, so once it gets above half a block, these corners are smoothed out a bit, which helps with all of the pressure. But for the most part, this is just a big old sealed tunnel. Which at the end of said tunnel is the big bad water drains. Now here we are, 2 days into our new temperate cycle, and we are finally getting some dregs down here. And I mean dregs down here. And that's not going to change until this is properly full up. And the thing is, peeps, I don't want to be wasting water. We're getting this all the way up to 1. And to avoid flooding, we're getting a depth sensor right on here. Now this is a wonderfully awkward place to actually set this up. But if we have a look, it's 6 is when we get to the level of the top of the reservoir there. You can see with blue bar lets me try and get right on it there. There we go, and we are right on the level of the blue bar. So if I go straight, we are right on the level of the reservoir here. So if we bring this down to 5.85, and then once that's built, I'm going to automate these throttling valves to open whenever that's below that, and then when that actually switches on, we're going to set them to close at an 85% reaction speed. So when this bad lad's full, it'll just start cascading like wild over here. And we most certainly want to do the same for this reservoir down here. And purely for shits and gigs, we're going to get it up under the bloody aqueduct there. Once again, making it nice and difficult to see what level the bloody... Ooh, I think I bloody eyeballed that. So 2, this is only too high. Well, neither bloody one that dries up like nae Beaver's business. It's only 2 deep. There's got to be something about that. But once again, we'll bring this down to 1.85 here. And then once the Beavers have got around to building that, we're going to automate these throttling valves, which, you know what, I may as well just do now, because they're not even automated at all to anything. And apart from setting the reaction speed to 85, that's actually that automated. And since these built... Hang on, is this built? Oh, fair enough. I was going to say, since these default to being off when they're not built, I can actually automate these throttling valves, but yeah, doesn't matter, it was already built. Now, the reason I'm happy to switch that away from the contamination sensing is because our Barbara aqueduct fully works. We didn't get any spillage. Ah yes, and as for this corner of our natural sprucey forest, we are going to be decorating that with a big old labourer's monument. Because it took a lot of labour to get our infinite power system up and running. Infinite power system which I did need check while the bartide was operational. But even now, we're cruising. Yeah, now, I reckon that's gonna look mint, just peeking out of the natural spruce forest here. The natural spruce forest, which is officially getting an upgrade. This all needs to be gone. If we had the room, I would get the path shifted out over the river. But, you know, showers come first. Especially when they didn't use any bloody water. And I mean, we are legendary beavers, so we can quite easily plonk a medium warehouse off the side of the cliff there, and that can be our bad water storage. It's even more than was there, and we get 4 bonus natural pines growing. Oh, look at our wee cascade. It just guns over yonder. And, oh no, yeah, no, we need to do something about that. So, last episode I mentioned a crazy plan to get stairways up to here. I decided against it. But what it was setting up some tunnels around here and some spiral staircases. So we ended up coming up on the corner and still being able to access all of the warehouses that got in here. Oh, beavers! This is a proper treat. 10 free planks! And I suspect if I pan to the right, oh yes, we have another 10 free planks. And that definitely wasn't a pan. It was a shift. Oh, we got quite the cascade. Why is that? Is this above 185? No, that's not on. Is this built in on? Oh, we got the cascade gone again. Okay, I'm not entirely sure why we're cascading. Oh, this is on. So yeah, now, 0.20. And with 4 of those bad lads on there, that's 0.80. That's almost an extra block. That is now cascading over here. And like I was saying, we need to do something about this terrain now. It's actually genuinely a problem, as you can see. As well as this flow limit being set to 0.004, which is just matching these 0.001s. However, there's also a cascade, MiGly. You need to bloody account for that. So let's increase this to 0.10 and hope that at least this bit of flooding goes away. That bit of flooding is absolutely not going away, so let's go up to 20 and hope that that bit of flooding goes away. Yes, no, no, yes. Is this light on now and we're getting even more flow? No, not quite. Ooh, I'm liking this. Do we have any TNT down here? Do we? Shite. I was going to get some bonus bloody storage, but we've got plenty. Well, now this lasts for 30 days. I think I'm just going to slap this bad lad at half a block. Surely that, yes, will keep the flooding down. Not from over here, though, because this is all groomed once again. Let's demolish it all down. And in particular, along the top here, there need to be triple dynamites so we can get down to the actual water level, not just spread the bloody flow further down and make our bolts all rusty. Oh, we must be getting close to 0.85 now, like. Oh, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85! And it's... Oh no, 86 is when it goes on. Yes, that's how above works, MiGly. Now it's at 86, it's on, and we have this bad lad closed right here. Oh, I'm getting flooded! Which is alright, it's just a mild camera flood. We're not flooding our precious thorns here. But we are properly cascading now. And we've got a bit of a cascade issue, however, what's going to be another fancy pants efficient mine. And yet our beavers, that's a minimum priority construction site, especially considering it's actively flooding. Oh, yeah, nah. Didn't quite think of this. We can't have excess flooding, at least too much, going into this river, because it's all blocked off at the end here, as you can see. Ooh. Automate. 1 river depthy. I definitely jumped the gun a bit there. We need a separate depth sensor. And I'd say, what better place to have it than doon, yeah? I mean, we can hardly pop a shower doon, so we may as well plop a bloody second 1 river depthy doon. AKA, or 1 river depthy 2. That's because that's as many characters as I can fit. You just have to use your imagination for the rest. Yeah, now we do need to do something about the unwanted cascade. Why aren't we cascading up here? Ooh, maybe we have an emergency overflow, but it isn't going to work though. Because I've just checked, this is off. It's at what? It's not going to go over. What is actually occurring here? Is it sloshing? Are we sloshing our? Yeah, look, because the water's not coming out anymore. They are freaking. I just need to either chill out now. I cannot accept this level of flooding. We're going to have to reduce it to 580. And then ye can just stay at 1. Oh, the cascade's back! Why aren't we just flying water out of here? What's occurring? Sorry, but what? Utter numpty! Set the flow rate so low on there. That's how the water gets out the map, MiGly. It gets out via here. Didn't tell us you've even raised these floodgates or something stupid like, no, thankfully, you've left them at 0.75. You haven't raised them all at 0.95. Right, so now we should have a grand cascade and nae flooding doon anywhere. Hopefully, at least. We're looking good over here. We've got the water not flowing. We've got the light on. We've got a beautiful, not perfect, but still a beautiful water level up here. The cascade's brimming. Oh, this is... Oh, peeps! So simple, automate. Couple of depth sensors. And how are we coming along with this, mad lad? Probably not, because I didn't maximum priority it. Although, do we even need this now? We don't. We only needed it because I was being a numpty. We don't need any sort of fail-safe. It's all automated perfectly. Now, if you thought the beaver bust watching you while you recover was creepy, what about the beaver bust that's watching you while you're bloody showering? Now that's going to be the least used, or maybe the most used, double shower here. And guess who's officially lost patience with all of these trees here? Although thankfully not before we finally got that path connected. Before I inevitably forget, let's get all of these trees marked for cutting once again. Although it does take the beavers an unfortunate amount of time to actually get the bloody oak suit. I suppose it should be a punishment. And the bad tide has just started, peeps. Yeah, we're gone. What is going to occur? It just gans down. It simply gans down. There's nae spillage. Nout's ganning through there. Nout at all is happening. We simply have bad water absolutely rushing its way down our big bad water aqueduct. It's gonna start sloshing round the side and finally fully spinning our power wheels down here. And now that I'm membrane, we can actually figure out how much power we've got. Well, I say figure out, we just need to click it. 6,200 knot, yo! Woohoo! We're not even using half of it. And while we're waiting for the TNT to be produced and banged in here, let's delete all of this water storage over here. Every last drop. And look at that unnecessary grid there. Absolutely no need for it. Oh, and this was built before we had fancy pants spiral stairs. So let's upgrade that as well. And look at this prime real estate here that's up for development. I wonder what we're gonna do. But of course, we're gonna have to replace it for our beavers over here. As well as replacing this dodgy little eggplant warehouse with a majestic oak. Now get up there, Brian the Forester. Get that oak planted. He's been dying to plant that oak ever since he moved in. He's been staring at it. He's been seeing the development and he's been like, go on, Cupcake, let us plant the oak. And I did. But anywho, random beaver law aside, we need to get a bit of a path gun. Now I've just switched me Forester and Lumberjack around here, just purely so we get the extra space because this area right here, once all of these dynamites are in... Oh, thankfully there's still one that needs to be banged in. I was going to wait until all the beavers clocked off, but, you know, I might not be able to. And this is a highly trafficked area. We can't here be setting explosions off willy-nilly, can we, wee babby kit? And I reckon for this Lumberjack flag in particular, I'm going to get another resource counter on the gun. Which is a bit of a shame that I decided to build these two up here, because if I'd have built them here, we could have had 3 of them side by side. Oh, we're drying up, the hills drying up, the water's getting away. But not for very long, or at least once we got this tunnel in, which we haven't even started on yet. But Dave near fret, peeps, I've found a fancy spot to pop our wood counter on. And to be more specific, our 1 wood counter. Now this bad lad is going to be set to a threshold of 20% of the below variety. So in plain English, once our wood stocks get to below 20%, this lumberjack flag here switches on. And we're currently at 42%, so we're tickety-boo. We didn't need old mate running and taking up a beaver job. Alright, now, we need to wait for the beavers to clock off. I mean, go to bed, like, actually fully go to bed, not just clock off. Because they might be crossing these bridges and paths to get to the fancy campfire, or behind the eggplant plantation. Right, now the beavers have clocked off. We have all of the dynamite ready to go, because we do need to make sure that we've got no beavers getting their tails detailed. We've got no beavers in here just generally sitting. Oh, what's going on, John? Oh, you're looking bloody canny, Farmer John there. Right, that's Farmer John coming back through. As long as we don't have any beavers, you know, making their way up this way, we should be getting ready to be safe to explore all of these TNTs. Let me just have a little bit of a hip-hop adventure up here. Make sure we've got no beavers coming through this pathway. Nah, we've got no beavers coming back through the showers. We're looking good. Oi, oi, I see you. Make sure you're going into bed, Mr. Hauler. And make sure ye haven't gone dancing in the dynamite. And after all of that, it's nigh on time for the beavers to wake up. So let's set our detonates from the corners for maximum satisfaction. There we go, peeps. It's just gonna be a real casual kaboomy boom. Maybe even doubled up with a bit of a... more beavers! I'm sure you're awake by now, but you need to get your horses out of bed and admiring our brand new canal here. How are you beavers loving the brand new canal? You don't have to go this way, you know, you can. Gotta cross the new way. Oh, which we need to connect in. And looking up at the colony log, we did not have a single beaver below up overnight there, so that is perfect. Now I do imagine the water level has dropped enough to open up this valve, why aye it has, as well as this valve which will be draining the last bit of the water out of here. Oh, I mean, like, actually we can start to see the corners we are getting the last bit of water out of here, down here, and out of here. Ah yes, we should probably go ahead and get another platform to connect this path back together. And while I'm thinking about it, I reckon it's prudent to get a couple of teeth grindstones knocking about. So we get one on there, we get one on there, and that means we can delete our one and only teeth grindstone from here. Well worth the free log. And with our big 3-wide canal going all the way through here, speaking of, we should probably... Oh, do we care? Do we care about the floodgate anymore? We don't, do we? Because the water's coming in from the pool side now. Well, in that case, there shall be no automation on this floodgate, and it can gan. You know what? It can gan down to 0 is what I was gonna say. But what I actually want to say is just, it can gan. Now, somehow we didn't end up with any stranded beavers from that. I guess all of these beavers were just not at work. Well, that's alright. We can still get a nice flat bridge hour. Now, I would do a bridge, however, I do still want to do some expanding of this pool. So we'll leave it open for now with some platforms. But anywho, with this path all up and running now, you can see we've got ourselves a nice plot of land to work with. And the best bit is, peeps, it's about to get even bloody nicer. Now, of course, we can again demolishing Davey Jr.'s OG inventor hut. Pinned up all across the walls in there is the vision for one version. And to commemorate Davey Jr., we're gonna pop a beaver bust right behind overlooking the inventor hut. But anywho, for new beavers, you've got a lot of demolishing to be getting along with. And I reckon I've just found a fair dinkum way of getting access to Davey Jr.'s bit inventor hut here. You've just got a bit of a sneak peek of it there, but it does unfortunately require removing some shrubbery up here and rebuilding the path down to these farms, which are no longer connected to a path. So we need to replace this stair so we can have access down for the farmhouse, but we can use a spiral stair in a bit of path to get connection from there down to Davey Jr.'s inventor hut. And I reckon I'm pretty happy with that. So beavers, get to blowing all of this up, will ya? Ooh, no, but yes, but no, but yes, it's gonna happen. It has to happen. I'm sorry, beavers. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to rebuild all of this here. And that's because we are also blowing up these 3 plots of land. Alright now, beavers, before I change my mind, get all of those DNTs in so I can click detonate. And I've got faith in our beavers. I'm going to turn the hood back on and detonate this. And by the time the kaboom gets to our there, it'll be in! It actually happened! And please, no blown up beavers. Oh, it grew up! It grew up! It was not a fun moment for my wee human heart. Oh, look at Davey Jr.'s inventor hut just sitting there by its bill. Anywho, let's get our big platform staircase out and our slightly longer platform path out. So our hoses can be reattached. We can get a fancy spiral stair down for Davey Jr.'s old bloody inventor hut, and then we just need to casually path it all up. Naturally, with bonus braziers. What do you techers for? But now that we've got our canal, our paths, and our land blown down, we can whip out a proper teasy end of episode bit. I do hope you've enjoyed this mad episode. Look at the braziers underneath there. But until that next episode, have yourselves a ponder of what could possibly be getting plopped down in that freshly blown up bit of land. And a toodaloo!